Okay, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Just testing out some new audio equipment, so bear with me if I decide to post this and it looks like crap. Understand some of the intro stuff from the last video was iffy at best, but we're working it. You know, it's a single man operation. We can't always be perfect. So I guess the content of this video today is just like the headline is: aviation doesn't have to be expensive. It can be cheap. And so I want to take some time, I guess, to bring you up to speed on what I think is a little bit of the future of general aviation and how to get into piloting, and perhaps a little bit of a shortcut and some FAA updates and rules. And then also kind of inform you guys on a secondary path and a little bit of a past history of my life that I've kind of opened the door with a little bit again, but I'm not quite sure where I'm going to go with it. So we'll just kind of chat. We'll call this a little bit of a hangar update, I guess, coffee talk. So first thing is aviation does not have to be expensive. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. So as you guys know, we have a J3 Cub here at the channel. She's a 1941. She's got great bones. She's got a great engine. We just did a top end overhaul. Really just an overall great bird, a great family bird. We, in the beginning, paid, I think, like $28,500 or $25,800. I think we paid like $28 grand to get that airplane. And for some of you are thinking, wow, $28,000 is a lot. That's about the cost of probably an average car nowadays. For like a Honda Civic, Honda Accord, probably even less. So if you want to get into aviation, the fastest way to do it is to maybe think about the car payment you have, get rid of the car payment, and pick up, you know, I don't want to say an old beater, but you can definitely pick up a junker for sure and drive that around until you accomplish either your private pilot or your sport pilot. Now, with getting the airplane, you can look at Aranca Chiefs, Aranca Champs, Luscombs, Cubs even, and some of those have a different retention value based on, you know, the condition of the aircraft and its value perceived in the market. The biggest thing, though, is you need to look for an airplane with a good set of bones, good sets of fabric, and you need to have the appropriate license to fly it. Luscombs, Chiefs, Champs, Cubs, they all fall under the sport pilot eligibility category. Meaning you can go get your sport pilot and you can fly daytime only, below 10,000 feet MSL or 2,000 feet AGL, whichever's higher. You can fly those airplanes. You don't have to go spend 20 grand on an aircraft, or excuse me, 20 grand on a pilot's license to be able to fly, just to go get that $100 hamburger. So, you know, there's options out there for sure. The biggest thing that I see in the long run is maintenance costs. And you can pay a mechanic flat out to do your maintenance and not have any, you know, inside or oversight as to the maintenance being done on the aircraft. But the biggest way to save money on that is to do owner-assisted annuals, to assist your mechanic in learning to do things on the airplane. And over time, they'll work it out so that you can do the maintenance on the aircraft and they'll inspect and sign off. And it becomes kind of like a mentorship program. But also, too, those mechanics, you know, they like to fly sometimes. So if you're helping a mechanic do some work and he wants to go fly or needs to go somewhere, you could probably work out a little option there to help him out with whatever, or they help them out with whatever they need. And then the other thing I think that's less talked about is the Facebook Marketplace. The Facebook Marketplace is wild times for sure. And you can kind of see behind me the wing. That's the wing of a Super Cub. So we'll maybe do a separate video on that later. Do me a favor, you know what, like, comment, subscribe, etc. Get that out of the way. But if you would like to see more of a Super Cub, find out how much you paid for it, maintenance, insurance cost updates, hangar stuff, leave a comment in the boxes below or whatever, and we'll you know, I'll circle back around and do it. If I can get 10 likes on that, on a comment to say that you want to see the Super Cub, we'll do it. But the Super Cub we found via Facebook Marketplace, she needs some final assembly, but here in the next year, I think, we'll have a fully functioning Super Cub with a great engine, and we basically pay the same price for that Super Cub as what we paid for the J3 Cub. So for essentially the cost of a really well-done Super Cub, or excuse me, a really well-done J3 Cub, we essentially have a Super Cub. And we got that because the J3 Cub will eventually go to my son. He's 8, about to be 9 in October. This video is being filmed July 5th or 6th of 2025. So when he turns 14, 15, He'll be able to go solo off on his own and take the airplane on his own, and I will pretty much just oversee maintenance and guide him in the flight process. But I'm just a caretaker of the J3. Even though I fly it and put it in some wild places, it's not my airplane. It's his. And ironic, and the reason we're keeping the J3 Cub instead of selling it or getting rid of it is because the airplane's manufacturing date and my son's birthday match. They're exactly 85 years apart to the day. So the chances of me finding another airplane to be exactly on his birthday are pretty much zero, and that's why we're gonna keep it. So the Super Cub was a way for my wife and I to be able to get in our own airplane, fly places a bit faster, go places that the J3 Cub wouldn't necessarily be able to go to, go up in the Pacific Northwest and stuff like that, cross into Colorado. And as much as the Cub is a capable aircraft, it is definitely not a capable aircraft at higher altitudes. The highest I've ever taken the J3 is about 8,500 feet. And even then, that was pushing it. It was really slow. I was pretty much 3/4 of the way open on the throttle. And when I push it to full power, I pretty much had, nothing available left for power. So, or excess thrust. But down low, she's a much better airplane. And that's, typically what I like to do. I like to fly low. I don't like to fly high on my own aircraft. I'll fly higher in a rented airplane because I got places to go when I'm burning a lot more money. And here's another topic is about the difference between renting and owning. So if you're going to get your private pilot's license, you're probably going to spend 20 grand on a pilot's license. And then you're probably going to spend another 20 to 40 grand on renting that airplane just to get your private. And if that's all you're going for, well, you're still going to pay the $115 or $150 or $200 an hour for that aircraft after that. And maintaining your pilot's license and flying becomes a less desirable trait due to the money output that you're putting. You get your own airplane, sure, you're going to have some maintenance costs, but you're not going to be vying for space. You're not going to be vying for other people's time. You don't have to get permission to rent that airplane from someone else. And you certainly don't have to, do the can I take this airplane here? And if I want to take it someplace else, say for a weekend, most places charge a weekend fee. So you'll pay the hourly fee, what's known as a wet or dry rate. Wet is with the cost of fuel included, and dry is without the cost of fuel. And if you take that airplane someplace for the weekend, you're going to get charged like an extra $1,000. Take my own airplane someplace else, I'm not getting charged $1,000. I have to pay an overnight hangar fee of $100 or $200 or whatever, depending on where I go. Some places don't even have an overnight fee. Like at our airport here, we don't even have a courtesy car. We're in the middle of nowhere. So we don't have any of that stuff, but you can get online, get an Uber here. I think it's called Toro is the name of the app, and you can get Toro and borrow a car for the weekend for a couple $100 or whatever. So it's not impossible, but it's much more cheaper, I think, of all the little intricacies that are added in support of the aircraft. And that kind of leads me into the next topic about the second channel. So the second channel I'm putting together is called Airborne Observations Company. And it kind of stems from my military background. And that military background has to do with reconnaissance, sniping, or some people call it reconnoitering. I was a sniper in the Army for a while. And before that, I was a heavy machine gunner or a light machine gunner by technical definitions, running a 240 Bravo machine gun in a light infantry platoon. And I kind of got addicted to the tactical world and that sort of stuff. And I just realized that, these airplanes can serve quite a bit of search and rescue assets in the lower 48. And again, this is, if you're not interested in that side of the world, this is probably the part where you turn off the video, and this is where the aviation changes a little bit. But I want to be able to use my aircraft to be able to do search and rescue operations and be able to airdrop supplies to people no matter where they are in the country. Lower 48, Alaska, wherever, it doesn't matter. And I also want to be able to help provide the individual with a pathway for logistics, such as buying, maintaining, fixing, and fielding vehicles. And in the tactical world, everyone can shoot, move, communicate. Everyone's got a rifle, a pistol. Everyone's got body armor, helmets. Some have night vision, some don't. But what they don't really take care of is the maintenance heavy side of their vehicles, whether that be a dirt bike, four-wheeler, ATV, side-by-side, an aircraft, whatever it may be. And I'm by no means a certified mechanic, but I understand in the aviation world Part 43 operations. I understand change oil, change a tire, change windows. I understand how to network enough to find people that can help me do it. And I also understand a little bit of the, hey, here's why we do a leak down test on aircraft, and yet we don't do it on vehicles. Yet you go on a Facebook marketplace and you're going to go buy a beat up 1990s Toyota Tacoma, and the engine's pretty much junk, and most people don't understand how to check that stuff. So I want to be able to cross the maintenance side of aviation into the maintenance side of vehicles and provide a little bit more of a tactical mindset. I guess you could say the channel will be more of like the average everyday logistics for I guess anyone, but heavily centric on the aviation vehicle side for tactics. But if that makes sense, if not, I guess put it in the comments below and I'll clarify. But yeah, so that's kind of where I want that secondary channel to go. And the other thing is, and this is on the aviation platform side, when Hurricane Helene happened in North Carolina, I must have got 100 messages and phone calls about, hey, I got your name from this guy. I see you on YouTube or Instagram. Can you fly your airplane out here? How many people can you take? Can you help move gear? And I put in my application to a few places just to kind of deal with the FAA side of things. And I found that people were frustrated, or surprised rather, that my airplane can only take one person, other than myself, obviously. Or I have a limit on baggage space or cargo space. And I kind of realized that there's a huge disparity with the average civilian person not being aware of what aircraft are really capable of, because in the United States, they really don't have a need for it. In the lower 48, up in the upper 40, up in Alaska, that's a little bit different. Aviation is a way of life there, but it's not necessarily a way of life here in the lower 48. And aviation has been used to move large groups of people over vast distances quickly. And a Cub, either a Super Cub or a J3 Cub, isn't going to transport people. It's going to transport a person or two people across a vast distance. But we're kind of coming up with solutions to be able to maybe airdrop a 48-hour survival pack to people. And I think we're also going to come up with a guide on how the average person for $5 or $6 may be able to go online, download a little pamphlet or guide on how you can implement setting up a bush pilot airfield, or be able to have supplies airdropped to you via bush plane. And we're going to come up with a whole system for that. And so if a natural disaster kicks off, hopefully we'll be able to project our uniqueness onto the situation and help people without getting in everyone's way. Because I feel like that was a big issue with Hurricane Helene, and I'm pretty sure is a big issue with Hurricane Katrina. In the other day with Texas and the floods. And I'm not quite sure up to that system yet, but I'm sure there's going to be some after action reviews on it. It'll probably be, unfortunately, devastating. And there's always, something you can prevent, but we at least hope to provide some opportunity to be reactive via aircraft, where you would need something like a helicopter, but we can airdrop stuff into the average person somewhere, as long as they have, say, a 50-foot wide drop zone or a street. I can be able to get you supplies for 48 hours, batteries, water, medicine, diapers, toilet paper, things like that. That's what I'm kind of interested in. But kind of the overlanding portion of it, where now the average civilian say, hey, our area has been cut off. We've got no power. Our roads are not accessible. If I don't get medicine or water or whatever in the next couple hours, it's going to become pretty dire. And we'll come up with a system and a way to put in, hopefully, anyway, for you to request that. And then a local guy or pilot near you can have a system to be able to airdrop supplies to you. And I think that would just be, first off, it'd just be cool. And second off, I think we can really make a difference in an area that otherwise is really difficult to fill the gap on. So, but that's pretty much it for the hangar talk. The other thing, I guess, too, is if you're a private pilot and you want to be able to get to commercial and you want to get to the airlines, etc., and you need to put on some dual time, you should really take the opportunity to look into the Light Sport CFI. Coming up, hopefully here in August with EAA and Oshkosh, the Light Sport Mosaic rules are going to be announced, and it will increase the Light Sport category from 1,320 pounds gross weight to 3,000 pounds gross weight. So that'll include some V-tail Bonanzas, Luscoms, 172s, 150s, 152s, Super Cubs will now be a Light Sport eligible aircraft. And when it comes to you getting bigger aircraft or faster aircraft to fly as a Light Sport pilot, I think in the next year we're going to see a big change in general aviation, provided that everything goes through. And I say provided that it goes through because I seem to see a lot of comments or talk or forums where the split is 50-50, whether it's going to happen with Mosaic or not. It's under my understanding that the Mosaic rules have to go into effect this year due to a law that was passed by Congress. So I could be wrong, but that's what I understood it to be. So if you have more of an update on it, or you have a theory, whatever, please put it in the comment section below and we'll chat about it. But and I guess that's it, guys. And the other thing is, I apologize for having such a bit of space and time between videos. You know, YouTube's not my full thing. My family is taking care of myself and my job, and becoming a flight instructor. So hopefully we'll have an update on that soon, and I'll be able to provide more. I'll be able to make this channel more of an asset to you in that realm. So I appreciate you guys, and hopefully you stay along and we keep going forward. Is it, Charlie? Hey, you okay? Charlie, what's that? Come here. What's that? What is it? Come here. Come. What's it? Turn.